What is going on, everybody? It is episode 737 of Pop Culture Crisis. It is also our birthday today because this channel has just turned 3 years old as of today. I'm very excited, and I'm here with my co-host. Introduce yourself, please.
Hi, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Yes, we are back from Thanksgiving. I hope that you are all 10 pounds heavier now and back in your calorie deficit era. But this is actually the beginning of PCC's birthday month.
No,
if you were unaware.
So somebody tweeted me that. I said, no, we don't do birthday month here. We are not vapid. We are not self-obsessed.
No, yes, we are. Yeah.
Okay.
This show is now going to be in its birthday month.
Era. No, I can't do it, man. I can't. I did see somebody say that on Twitter, and a lot of people did wish us a happy birthday on there. I was actually wished happy birthday by YouTube. That's how I remember it. I used to have because we moved studios, right? Back in the old studio for about 3 years. You can't see it on here, but like this monitor next to me used to just be littered with Post-it notes down here, and one of the Post-it notes just said December 2nd, first day of show. It was like literally I made it the day we started. I should have saved it and framed it.
Yeah.
I should have saved it. We also have when we first started the show, somebody sent us the claw.
Oh yeah, to pick up the money, the claw arm.
I still have the note that the person sent with it framed up on the desk in that old studio still.
We need to have like an Amazon wish list for the show. It's just like random things
I would
put on the wall.
I would abuse that so badly. It would be the most it would have nothing to do with the show. It's just stuff I want.
Yeah, sure.
I want $200 socks. That's what I want. That's what I want. Guys, so again, before we get started, I just want to thank each and every one of you who have been around since the beginning, and each and every one of you who have joined along the way. It is a very, very big thing to be able to do this for a living. And I, in particular, I know that I say this to you guys a lot. I tweet about it a lot, but I'm very, very grateful for being able to do that, and as I say, a purveyor of background noise to be able to give you guys
enough with the mushy stuff.
Yeah. Mary hates the mushy stuff.
Gay.
Just saying thank you. So thank you guys all for watching. We got a bunch of stuff to get into. So most importantly, I think the biggest news in pop culture over the weekend, over the Thanksgiving weekend, was the fact that Moana just spanked everybody at the box office. She did.
That's a way to put it.
That's a way to put it. So Moana set tons of records at the weekend box office for the holidays. We'll get into that. I think that there's a little bit of media bias here because they never count adjusting for inflation with these things. But we're going to talk about the numbers because it did do very, very, very well. Obviously, Wicked continued to do very, very well as well. So we're going to talk about that. We have other stuff to discuss about Wicked, which is going to be very, very funny. I think you guys will love that. But also, we're going to talk about the drummer from My Chemical Romance. Not the current drummer, but past drummer. His name was Bob Breyer.
Yeah. Yes.
And he passed away about a month ago.
Right. And he was found much later on in his home, dead. Now people are on Twitter celebrating his death because he was a fascist.
Yes. Well, and everybody who doesn't agree with a leftist is a fascist. So we're gonna talk about that. We're also gonna talk about Haley Steinfeld, who just keeps winning at life, and it's really
everyone's so mad about it.
Much to the chagrin of her Spider-Verse co-star, who's down bad. Poor guy.
Just an absolute simp.
Poor guy.
He's coping right now because she just got engaged.
We got that. We got a bunch of other stuff. You ready to get started?
Yes, let's go.
All right. Well, then let's go ahead and get started first. So this is a story we can tell. So earlier this year, me and Mary were traveling. We were doing an event in California. It was like a Daily Wire event, right?
Was it the Bertram premiere?
It was the Bertram premiere. And while we were traveling, there was whispers from actual physical human beings in the real world talking about how they were excited to see Moana. And since then, I have seen a lot of the very, very intelligent people in this space talking about how this will likely be the sleeper hit billion-dollar movie of the year. And it looks like, lo and behold, a lot of those people are going to be right because this movie did a lot of money over the Thanksgiving weekend. It did.
So Moana 2 made $225 million domestically over this long weekend, and then $389 million globally. Yeah. This is like, I'm not surprised by this.
But even if you take the 5 days out of the account, because this is one of those things they love to do. They did this with Wicked, which was like, look at all this money it made its opening weekend, but it counted the Tuesday previews in all of these days. So
Sure.
it's basically, by the time it gets to Sunday, it's basically a week. But then they advertise it as a weekend, as its opening weekend, which is not what it was. This one, they're being very clear, 5-day opening weekend. It is the biggest Thanksgiving box office of all time for an animated film with $225 million, $139 million just in its 3-day opening. So you take on top of that the fact that Wicked did strong numbers as well. I think it did 81 million in its 3-day and 118 million in its 5-day. But remember, that is over its second weekend, not its first.
Right. You were wondering if people taking their kids to Wicked would drop off and then start going to Moana instead once it came out.
Yeah.
I don't think that it was ever the same audience. I don't think that many people were taking their kids to see Wicked. It was the theater people, the girls and the gays, and Moana 2 has an entirely different target demographic.
Well, what that proves is that there's just a lot of theater kids here in America.
Exactly, which is another problem entirely that we need to solve. But I saw some comments who were just incredulous at the success of Moana 2. One said, amazing animated films like Flow, Sirocco and the Kingdom of Winds, The Colors Within, Ghost Cat, Anzu, Transformers 1, and Mars Express all are left in the dirt, while shitty animated slop like Moana 2 get $1 billion. It's so sad that this is the state of movies now. Another one said, call me crazy or a conspiracy theorist, but I just literally don't believe this. Nobody I know has even brought up this movie, and I'm literally willing to bet money that most people don't know it exists.
That's wrong.
Another one said it was awful. I truly regret spending my money for this. It doesn't really matter if you regret spending your money on it because you did.
Okay, so but that is a fair point to bring up. Look, so I've seen a discrepancy between the internet discourse about this film and what we would get from Rotten Tomatoes, which is like, look, critic score of 65%, an audience score of 87%. Yet, as far as I can see, I'm not seeing a whole lot of positive interactions about this film on the internet. Most of everyone is saying that it's not that good.
Yeah.
And here's the problem. If the movie is not that good, poor word of mouth will end up hurting it in its second weekend.
We have a 20 from Elizabeth Schuster. Happy birthday, PCC. It's been a hell of a day. Glad to just get home and listen to you guys while I ice my chest/neck and take cold medicine and cry in bed. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Well, thank you for watching. I'm sorry that your day isn't going so well. I hope you feel better after whatever that happened to you.
Yeah.
Glad we can help. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people just saying that it feels rushed and mashed together.
Okay, so
Disney Plus episodes.
This was a Disney Plus series.
This is confirmed, or is this a rumor?
This was original. No, I already read this.
That Disney admitted it?
This was originally promoted as a Disney Plus series, which is why this whole thing was animated in Vancouver rather than in Burbank.
Right. Okay. So they say this is a rushed mashup of a few episodes of a canceled Disney Plus series, pushed out just to account for Wish's bombing. That was last year.
Yeah.
Just made record-breaking profits, encouraging these kinds of underhanded practices from Disney in the future.
Yeah.
It isn't, all it's cracked up to be.
Well, here's the thing. What this ensures for you is that more and more work is going to go over to the Vancouver studio, and they're going to animate for cheaper over there. It also means that you are going to get nothing but sequels. Forever. Right. Forever. Like till you're 90.
I mean, that was already true.
But
it's unfortunate because they're going to sit there and tell themselves that a movie like Wish failed at the box office because it was new.
Yeah.
Because it was a new idea. That's not the reason. It's because it was genuinely unpopular, badly marketed, and a bad film.
Yes. And nobody liked it.
So if you just made something new that is also good, it would be fine.
The funny thing is, what will also not be learned about this is that original characters matter. Notice how there's no discussion going on right now about representation being a problem in Hollywood, because when it's an original character that people actually like, people will show up for the film and they will go out and see it. And that's a good thing. We want to support the creation of new characters that actually resonate with an audience. Who are we to argue with $139 million in 3 days and $225 million in 5 days if the story actually resonates with people. What you do have to hold them to account for, however, is that if the movie does do poorly as far as its word of mouth, that could severely hurt its ability to make $1 billion down the line, which is what they're really hoping for here. I don't think Mufasa is going to make $1 billion. I don't think it's going to do half as well as this movie.
No, not even close. I understand that people will just, accept any of the slop that they're given by Disney at this point. There is like a built-in audience for anything they make. And this is proof of that, that people's standards have dropped. Like the bar is in hell now. And they will take their cues from this success. Yeah. And they will make Moana 3 and Moana 4.
Well, no, so you don't even have to worry. You don't have to worry about that because they've got live action. So that's
they'll make the live action Moana, and then they'll make the live action Moana sequel, and then they'll make the live action series, then they'll make the animated series.
Well, no, what I think is important
and merch.
What I think is important here is that if the live action Moana doesn't do well, what this proves is that there is a distinction to be made about types of movies and methodology. So not everything needs a live action remake. So what we could learn here is if Moana 2 can be basically a Disney Plus series cobbled together by animators and make close to $1 billion, and live action Moana bombs, then we would understand that certain mediums just work better for certain types of stories. There was photos that came out of of The Rock on set, and even people were dunking on that, saying that it doesn't look very good and all of that going on right now. This also means that you're going to get nothing but The Rock for another 10 years, guys. Mary hates that, but
I saw someone reply with that, and I know that The Rock thinks he's the only reason why this is popping.
Oh, come on. I don't think
that's how big his ego is.
But look, it was a strong weekend for the box office overall. It wasn't just Moana doing well. Obviously, Wicked did very, very well as well, with 81 million over 3 days and 118 million over 5 days. Look, they almost did $100 million in its second weekend in a row. Here's the problem is that that and Gladiator made up for most of the 420 record-breaking box office weekend that we had this past weekend. But the thing is like, Moana's doing well both internationally and here at home, whereas Wicked is not doing the numbers internationally that Moana does. And we're going to get into more about it later, but Wicked has its own hurdles that it has to get over when it comes to making this movie worth, the sequel that we're going to get a year from now. But Moana 2 is proof that when you use an original character, you can just cobble together 6 episodes of a TV series and people will go see it. Look, there was genuine buzz around this film, and I think that they need to learn their lesson, that you need to take the characters that people actually like. You need to stop. Look, there's also all this stuff going on right now about more reshoots with Captain America Brave New World. They're on like their 9,000th round of reshoots
right now.
Yeah, they're like they just finished their last reshoots 3 months before the picture is out. Okay, and there's some great videos that have been made recently by Midnight's Edge and WDW Pro breaking down all of the ways in which this is a problem. I'm kind of just putting them all together because sure, Marvel is Marvel, but Marvel is also ostensibly Disney, right? And Disney has a lot going on this coming year. These are the films that they've got coming out. First of all, before we move on, these were the records that were broken over the weekend. So it says biggest 5-day Thanksgiving earner of all time by a mile over Frozen 2. Again, they don't adjust for inflation on any of these numbers, so bear with us. Biggest 5-day debut of all time. It beat Super Mario Brothers from April of 2023, which was 204 million. This one says 221 million. That has been updated to 225 million. But it lists all these records were broken. But here are the movies that are coming out next year. Captain America Brave New World, full of problems. Endless reshoots. A movie made around, Trump is evil, Orange Man bad. The world was ostensibly like yanked out from under their feet after the election, and now they're scrambling. That's a problem.
Is that why they're reshooting?
I mean, we can't prove that.
Rewriting?
But look, that many rounds of reshoots. Reshoots are normal. Don't let anybody tell you that reshoots are not normal in Hollywood. It is very, very common to have reshoots on a film, especially something at the size and scope of a Captain America movie. But a $400 million movie with reshoots running up to 3 months before the actual film comes out signals problems. There's also the issue of the director who was not even around for the last round of reshoots, and they're like, don't worry, he's still involved. Okay, right. We're getting Blade vibes now. Okay, Snow White. We don't even, this channel does not need to tell you about the problems about Snow White. We've told you about all the problems involving Rachel Zegler, the promotion for the film.
I honestly think, if anything, all of the social media discussion about Snow White for the past 2 years will cause some people to go see it. I really think that curiosity is enough to get some people to go see it. Just based on how much hate it's gotten so far.
Thunderbolts. Nobody cares. I don't buy that anybody cares about Thunderbolts. Lilo and Stitch. I did see honest interest in Lilo and Stitch after the premiere of the trailer, of the teaser.
Put out the first, images of Stitch in the live action version, right? Good. He doesn't look like, the Nightmare Sonic. Like, he looks pretty cute. They did an okay job.
That's cute. Elio, that's going to be not a live action. I'm sorry, that's an original from them. That's where they need to start focusing on those ones, right? If you're not gonna do Moana 3, then try to get Elio to do well. Fantastic Four, I'll wait and see. I think Fantastic Four has a better chance of doing better than Thunderbolts, but we'll have to wait and see. Freakier Friday.
Freak Your Friday?
Freakier Friday.
Oh, I thought you said Freak Your Friday. No,
Lindsay Lohan
the remake. Or no, it's not a remake. It's a sequel to Freaky Friday that no one asked for, and it looks terrible.
Tron Ares. That could be. We'll have to wait and see for a trailer on that. I'd be more willing to engage in a discussion about how that movie's going to do.
Oh, that's going to have an Avatar thing where you think that nobody cares about it, but they love it because, the original Tron was popular.
Yeah. So maybe what we would have to wait and see is what are the trailer views looking like when it comes out to gauge interest. Then we have Zootopia 2.
Oh, that's going to do great because of the furry demographic. They're going to keep that afloat.
And then, of course, Avatar Fire and Ash, which will make $7 billion. Nobody has ever seen it.
Inexplicably, it will be the biggest movie of all time.
Yes.
And then there will still be 2 more after that. James Cameron is just staying alive to finish that franchise.
And on top of that, next summer they are going to have to compete with James Gunn and Superman. Where I can't wait. That trailer is supposed to come out this month.
How exciting.
We'll have to wait and see. So guys, if you went and saw Moana 2, I saw some people in the chat saying they brought their kids, and that's cool. Let us know what you thought about it. But Disney has a long way to go before they win back the trust of their audience. And all it takes is a couple of those movies flopping to put them right back where they were. I don't envy Bob Iger, but even worse, I don't envy, his replacement that is currently being sought after.
We still don't know who that's going to be. And they were talking about hiring from outside of Disney.
Yeah, and I don't envy the minefield that person will have to navigate once they get back in charge. So, all right, let us move on then.
Yes. I think we all know that Ben Affleck has a type, and it's a woman named Jennifer. He kind of just goes out in the street, screams Jennifer over and over until one comes back and falls into his arms.
Well, I suppose it's because of his socioeconomic status. Only rich Jennifers are going to come out.
Only rich Jennifers in the gated community in which he lives. So just over the Thanksgiving weekend, Ben Affleck was spotted cozying up to his ex-wife Jennifer Garner, not Jennifer Lopez, who he just split up with. They were spending Thanksgiving together. They were doing some charity work for this organization called Midnight Mission in downtown Los Angeles, but the paparazzi were capturing them getting a little up close and personal, canoodling, if you will.
Jennifer Garner is really big into charity. I had to draw Mary's attention to this article from 2 years ago or a year ago where Jennifer Garner offers a homeless man the shoes off her feet.
Yeah, which I find a little bit disingenuous when you know that paparazzi are recording the entire thing.
All it takes is the one photo of her side-eyeing the camera.
That's just me being the cynical person I always am. So Ben Affleck appeared cheerful on Thanksgiving with a Jennifer that is not his most recent ex, Jennifer Lopez.
I thought they're still married, though, technically.
They are not even divorced yet.
They're not divorced
You're right.
yet.
He has not even fully divorced Jennifer Lopez because they're still deliberating over how they're going to split up the assets because they had no prenup.
So you know what they need to do with these? Like, they need to start turning these divorces into content where they just take like a comically giant saw and just saw the mansion.
It's just funny that they were so confident in their marriage that they didn't get a prenup, and they're both extremely wealthy multi-millionaires. She's actually even more wealthy than him. Yeah, and Jennifer Lopez is.
But I feel like he's better off because it seems like Ben Affleck does the best work when he's like he's the quintessential like my life is in shambles, I need to work to survive.
So Jennifer Lopez was actually helping him by wanting him. She was like pushing him away and toward his work. Yeah, exactly. But I know, I think I have said before, this is what I wanted to happen. I wanted him to get back with his first wife, Jennifer Garner, the mother of his children. And she's obviously the less toxic, problematic one of the two Jennifers.
Look, I don't think that is true. I think they are both probably equally toxic in their own way.
She's in their toxic, own special way.
She's toxic in a diva pop star way. The other one is toxic. Garner is toxic in a NIMBY, rich, get off my lawn, but I want to pretend like I'm doing good for the world way.
They're both probably crazy in their own special way, but Jennifer Lopez is worse at hiding it, perhaps.
I mean, that just makes her more real.
Ben Affleck thinks that his divorce with Jennifer Garner was his fault.
I'm sure both play a role.
He thinks that it was his fault. And I just laughed when I saw TMZ write this headline. J-Lo pulls trigger on divorcing Ben Affleck. No prenup, no settlement. And it reminded me of that one infamous night back when she was with Diddy, Sean Combs. And this viral tweet reminded me of it as well. Remember when you handed Diddy that handgun out of your purse and he then proceeded to shoot an innocent woman in the face? Remember how you fled the scene and lied to the authorities and the public for 20 plus years about that night? Do you think about that woman on these holidays, or when you manicure your perfect face while she still has bullet fragments from the weapon in your purse in hers? And then you watched an innocent 21-year-old man go to prison for years to shield you and your criminal boyfriend from consequences, while you built your empire on stolen vocals, cultural appropriation, dropping N-bombs, and fictitious lore. But hey, you look phenomenal.
Okay, what's the cultural appropriation part about?
J-Lo being thankful for her freedom on Thanksgiving.
Okay, well, I mean, but what is she culturally appropriating?
I don't know. I wasn't really around for her in her heyday.
Chat, does anybody know what she's culturally appropriating?
All I know is that J-Lo actually can't sing and she can't act, but she has the charisma.
She's got the
she really can't even dance either. I've seen all of these videos of her in her concerts where she has like a cane.
I mean, she
has this cane that she holds while she is dancing and uses it as a prop, but it also looks like she kind of needs a cane to walk. She's definitely not the most talented person alive.
Yeah, but
she sold so much perfume and lotion and makeup.
She embraces the diva role.
J-Lo does?
Yeah, J-Lo.
But Jennifer Garner is like the humble one.
I mean, not really. We all know that's fake,
that's like the image. The image that she gives off is that she's the more down-to-earth one.
There's a 20.
Weary Traveler said, speaking of Diddy, will PCC be having a Diddy part for its 3rd birthday?
I hope not.
A Diddy party.
Yeah, no Diddy parties here. It's crazy how much the brain rot that's being made now is just all making jokes about Diddy parties.
I know. It's just become synonymous with gay.
Look, I don't know what's worse though. Like I would almost rather you embrace your diva persona and be completely inaccessible to the average person and annoying rather than being a fake good person like Jennifer Garner.
Jenny with the Glock, aka J-Lo, has a much worse personality issue. It's that she tries to portray herself as a hopeless romantic.
Which one? Garner?
J-Lo.
J-Lo. Oh,
She wants to portray herself as a hopeless romantic who is always chasing love, and she falls too hard. She just falls in love too hard, and that's her problem, right? It couldn't possibly be that you're a possessive, controlling monster. Yeah. It couldn't possibly be that.
Loco in the chat says J-Lo isn't Mexican, but she played Selena, and that's cultural appropriation. Well, then she's perfect for Ben, because Ben did that in the movie Argo.
Then it would be two peas in a pod.
Yes.
Basically.
Perfect. They're perfect for each other.
I hate when people call themselves hopeless romantics, because every time they say that, what they're actually saying is, I'm crazy. I have like borderline personality disorder. I want to control my spouse, significant other. That's why I fall in love too hard, is because I'm a controlling monster.
Those people tend to be the ones who are very, very good at putting a spin on something that's absolutely awful.
Yeah, well, that's what she was doing with the 3-part multimedia project about their love story. That's what she was trying to portray, is that she just has this beautiful open heart that always just wants to chase after love, and that it's plagued her entire life, and she's just a victim.
And Ben's over here just like, I just want to be married. Can we just be married?
But like, maybe it wasn't even his idea. Maybe she was just able to manipulate him into doing that, and I think he rightly determined that Jennifer Garner is more stable, at least. Even if she is crazy in her own way, she has trans kids, all that nonsense. She's at least stable and not anything like J-Lo, like just daggers for eyes.
I think the real answer here, Ben, is that Ben needs to learn how to love himself. Ben needs to learn how to love himself and be alone for a while.
Is self-love actually the solution?
I think Ben needs to learn to wake up in the morning next to nobody and be okay with that.
Has he done that?
I have no idea.
For any significant period of time?
I have no idea. I just know that I think he'd be better off if he could learn to just love himself a little bit more than, everybody's got that friend who maybe they've never been married, but they've never been single, and he needs to learn how to be okay on his own.
Most people can't do that.
Or, now that Trump is going to be back in office, go back out on a date with RFK's daughter or whatever that was.
And I did just want to mention this offhand because it was not confirmed, just a rumor. The rumor is that Meghan Markle is planning to divorce Prince Harry. This was from a New York Post headline. Meghan Markle releases a statement after solo Thanksgiving appearance amid professional separation from Prince Harry.
What the hell is a professional separation?
Yeah, I don't know what a professional separation is, but the rumor was that they were preparing from a public media relations perspective for a divorce. And this is so funny because if that ends up happening, Prince Harry will have ended up ruining his entire life and his family relationships for this clout chaser.
Yeah.
And then they move out of his home country to the US so that she can pretend she is a Kardashian. And
not even a good one.
Not even one of the best ones.
I mean, let's face it. Kim Kardashian is leagues ahead of Meghan Markle when it comes to like actual on-screen ability to be
charisma, branding, pretty much everything. And then Meghan Markle decides she doesn't need Prince Harry anymore because she is American royalty now.
Sigh. And to those
that
in
would
the
just
chat,
really suck for him, but it would be his fault. He brought it on himself.
He did. He could have had the perfect life.
I don't know about perfect, but it could have been not a living hell.
Thank you, guys. And to the people in the chat that are trying to make my comments about Ben Affleck about being a coomer, no, he needs to love himself, not love himself. They're different things.
Way different things. I didn't think that's what you were referring to at all.
Yeah. Nope. Okay. All right.
Okay. There is an actress named Barbie Ferreira that I wanted to talk about. Barbie Ferreira is best known for her role as Kat Hernandez in HBO's series Euphoria. And in that show, she played a plus-sized character. And that was actually most of the discussion about her plotline in the show, which is why she felt forced to leave after 2 seasons. She was one of the main cast members, and she stepped away from the show because she didn't want to be typecast as the fat best friend and felt that her character's storyline had reached a natural conclusion on its own.
I think she called Rebel Wilson for advice.
I mean, she might have been contractually obligated to be overweight, actually, for her show, for the role in the show. But after leaving Euphoria and not playing that character anymore, it looks like Barbie Ferreira has lost all of that extra weight, and people are shocked at her transformation, saying that she looks like a totally different person now.
There's the before.
It's just ironic, right? Because as far as I've been able to tell, Barbie Ferreira has been an advocate for body positivity in the past. Mm-hmm. She has spoken out against the fashion industry, it says here, labeling women as plus size if they don't fit restrictive sample sizes. And now she's being accused of taking Ozempic because she never was proud of being fat in the first place. Surprise, surprise. This is what we found out from the mass availability of a miracle weight loss drug.
Do you think this is what happened with Rebel Wilson? Do you think she took Ozempic, or did she get
I don't
skinny
think
before?
she did, because if you can stay the same healthy weight without taking it overboard, and this is a long-term lifestyle change, I think that was natural.
And that's the real downside of the medication, is like all the stolen valor from the people who did actually put the work in.
Right.
Like Adele did it way before Ozempic was. I mean, maybe it was a thing and like people just didn't know about it yet. You know, it was like ahead of its time in Hollywood. I don't know.
We were ahead of our time talking about it.
We got to it very, very
before
early.
a lot of people knew what it was.
But the difference is Adele was one of those people who happened to be oversized, and then people kind of imprinted on her, like they let her imprint on them, and then they made her weight their personality. So when she lost it, they were offended that she didn't also want her weight to be her personality. Rebel Wilson was a little bit different because she did play Fat Amy. That was like literally her thing.
Why she was under contract.
So it's a little bit different, but I don't blame this actress to, she's going to have longer term prospects doing this.
And I know that a lot of people see plus size actors, musicians, and if they themselves are overweight, they feel that that's their fat icon, and they wrap their own identity into that person as a representative for their community, which the idea that you're part of a community because you're overweight is insane to me in the first place. And the fact that these people feel they can make rules for other fat people about how they're allowed to look or what they are allowed to eat or how much they exercise is even more insane.
Well, the reason
people
they do
have
that,
chosen like that chick from Bridgerton, Nicola Coughlan, the plus size character in Bridgerton. If she lost weight, she would get hate for it too.
The reason they do that though is they're like, look, if you want to take all of the positives that we offer you by propping you up while you're big, you have to then stay that size.
Because you owe us now.
You owe us now. Like, we supported you when nobody else would, therefore you owe us, which is why you should never enter into any type of contract like that type of social contract where there's like expectations on it.
You know what I think Barbie Ferreira realized is that her face card was too strong to waste it on being fat.
Think that's what it was?
She could level up in every possible way if she lost the extra weight, and so that's what she did. I don't know if she did it naturally or some other means like Ozempic, but ultimately it doesn't matter. People will accuse you of that anyway, and the responses were mostly people who were fat and bitter.
Yeah.
Fat people who were bitter that someone showed them an example of self-improvement, and it got tens of millions of views. Some people were insisting that, she kind of betrayed this community. Another person said, fat people being mad at other formerly fat people for losing weight will never not be the funniest thing ever. Yeah. Someone said she looked way better when she was fat. Objectively, just not true. And she knew that. And then another person said they always hated being fat. Fat people always hated being fat. That's true. No matter what they said to you about it, you were lied to. Okay, they can say that they're proud, that they love themselves, and they wouldn't change a thing, but then granted the opportunity to change overnight, they do it. They take it every time.
Without trying to be mean to anyone and just look at it objectively, the point is that in that industry, however much certain activist groups may prop up the idea of body positivity, that may work in the advertising sector of Hollywood, where they're consistently looking for, different size bodies and different looks for people for advertising campaigns. Once you get to the level of starring on a television show, your work opportunities will grow as your looks improve. And is that right? Is that wrong? That's up for you to decide for yourself. You can make your own moral judgment on that. The objective truth is that her options as an actress will have opened much wider. Now, there are some that would say that actually it shortens them, because unless you're a really, really talented actress, she's just now going to look like every other, brunette in Hollywood. And that's true. Like, look, if you're going to objectively change yourself from this to this, there is probably more opportunities, albeit more narrow in the type of role, for them to hire this. Then you're going to have a lot more competition, because there's going to be a lot of attractive brunettes.
Possibly. Yeah. I don't think she lost weight to improve her work opportunities. I think she lost weight for health and to look better, which is the majority of cases.
At her age,
if I had to guess.
How old is she?
27.
Look, I don't know. I mean, I would believe that once you get into your 30s and they kind of feel the clock ticking, and maybe they went to a doctor and they said that. In your late 20s, I think it's job opportunities.
One person said there was a meme during the height of the body positivity craze that went something like, if you gave every fat activist a red button that would delete their fat with zero costs, they all would. And it caused a ton of anger because it was obviously true. Now we have proof. Ozempic is going to make the last decade of body positive media very funny, like rats jumping off a sinking ship.
I see somebody mention John Candy. This is an objective truth that it's different for men in Hollywood.
Oh, definitely.
When it comes to men in Hollywood, you can be fat and funny and you'll be perfectly fine. And it's just not looked at with the same social implication as fat and funny as a woman.
Definitely.
Fat and funny as a woman, the weight takes center stage.
Right.
Fat and funny as a man, it can, but not always.
Yeah.
John Candy will always be remembered as an amazing actor and comedian in spite of his weight, not because of his weight. The same is true for Chris Farley, though you could say that Chris Farley leaned into it a little bit more.
Right.
Right? It's different. And unfortunately, actually, no, fortunately, it's different. We're all different. That's just the way it is. Get used to it.
I think it's just a good sign that body positivity is officially dead.
I mean, look, if she's doing it for the purpose of health reasons, then I applaud her. I just don't know if I believe that the 27-year-old's doing it for health reasons.
What do you mean?
Her. Like I just imagine.
I mean,
like,
it's unhealthy to be overweight at any age.
I just don't know if she's thinking about it's so ingrained in our culture right now to not even think about it that way, that I bet you that she's doing it for work reasons.
For work or
which
vanity
is fine.
or
Look,
both.
Look, it's fine. I guess then it's a matter of pragmatism. Like, if it gets you a healthier option in the end, that's good.
Well, it's always body positivity until a fat person gets skinny, and then they start shrieking.
Yeah.
Like they're horrified that someone decided to improve themselves. Body positivity is officially dead at this point, I think. It's safe to say that.
BLT says Roseanne was pretty fat at the height of her fame. Roseanne's a good example of somebody who also was very, very popular in spite of her. Like, she never had to play into what she looked like. Roseanne just
I don't think she ever did.
No, she just had a show that everybody liked, and was alongside John Goodman, who also lost a bunch of weight and objectively looks worse now.
But Roseanne is just naturally funny.
Yes.
Like, that's that's a once in a generation, like, she's so clever.
Correct.
That's not what you're normally going to find.
Look, John Goodman, I think, actually looks worse now because he's way skinnier than he did when he was bigger. Look at pictures of John.
What about muscle? Is there any muscle on it?
I think it's because he's also older now, so his skin is a lot looser. He looked better when he was bigger dude. So.
Yeah. All right. I guess we're gonna go to Cringe.
You want to see Cringe first?
I think I want to see Cringe first.
All right. And again, guys, I'm playing catch up on all of the Cute of the day, so thank you guys so much for responding so quickly to all of those. I got a lot to get through here, but let's go through and check out the Cringe of the day first. Here we are. Is this one particularly bad? Usually you give me some type of warning beforehand.
It's bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
It says
it's bad.
This is from an account that says Slavic youth memes.
I don't know what makes this Slavic. I swear it's in English.
Okay.
It looks like this guy is at a mega church and he's speaking to the congregation.
Look, those mega churches be doing too much.
Yeah.
Here we go. It says, I believe that God told me.
God told me that my wife was here. And yeah, so whoever was planning on approaching me tonight, yeah, I'm ready. If you're ready to get married, I'm ready. I got a ring earlier today at JCPenney.
The silence is deafening.
Again, when you have the gift of faith.
I hate you so much for making me watch this. The lack of any chortle whatsoever makes this so much worse.
Nobody thought that he was joking. I don't think he was joking.
I mean, but they could have helped.
Because he tried to save himself by going on, like, the rest of this video is him just trying to...
It says bro shot his shot. No, bro sprayed his shot everywhere. This is
like
is the drive-by. This is
Like, did he think that when he said he was, like, God told me that my wife was here, like, some girl in the audience is gonna stand up and be like, it's me? Like,
this is the men's version of being Disneyfied.
What is that, like, his Disney prince fantasy?
Yeah, he's seen too many movies.
And he got the ring before he even met the girl.
Why did he have to...
From a JCPenney.
Why did he have to mention the JCPenney's?
Why JCPenney?
And the gift of working in miracles... It makes you believe that all things are possible to him.
This was just him trying to make himself like look better.
I can't do anymore. You've broken me again.
I like that you can tell this actually happened. That it's not staged.
What are they wearing? What are these people wearing?
Oh, I don't know. Those are like some kind of headscarves or something.
They're like masks. They look like the things you put on your face so bees
won't. It's hard to tell.
Oh, it's awful. Thank you for making me watch that. That was horrible.
You're welcome.
It's time to palate cleanse. Emily Rose submitted, this is her dog, Apollo.
Love the name.
Apollo is a great looking dog.
Very polite. 2
different color eyes, heterochromia.
Oh, nice.
Very cute.
I know a guy who has homophobia.
All right. Above ground level, it says, this is our spoiled husky named Riley. We rescued her when she was just 6 months old. As you can tell, she knows she is the main character.
Aw. Very cute.
Oh.
Kind of sassy.
There's a little bit of
sass.
A little zest.
Yeah.
Let's do one more here. This one's from Lisan Al Gaibi. It says, the royal feline. Says, oh, look at that.
Where are the eyes?
Can't even see him. And the tongue is out there like Mocha.
Aw. Adorable.
Oh, also, so Mocha got a shout out on IRL on Tuesday.
How?
They asked for justice for Mocha, and I had to put everyone...
Tim wanted...
a super chat.
Tim read a super chat that said that.
And I had to put Mocha in her place live on IRL in front of thousands of people.
Humiliated in front of tens of thousands of people.
And then, of course, but then then Olivia posted a picture, and Tim actually pulled it up and showed it on camera. Yeah.
Humiliated in front of so many people on the internet. She doesn't even know. She's too stupid to even know that it happened.
She became very famous after that. That tweet got thousands and thousands of views. So Mocha, and then I got home and I was like, now Mocha's asking for extra food, acting like a diva. Look what you've done to me.
Now her ego is
she's got a Jennifer Lopez-sized ego now. Next thing we're gonna find out that Mocha shot someone in a nightclub 20 years ago.
We might find out some ugly stuff about her past.
I'm doing one more here. All right, this one's from Devin. It says, cute of the day, I recently went back to see my family in Ontario. I believe I finally got to meet my little brother's dog, Millie. We quickly became good friends.
Hi, Millie.
That is very cute. All right. Remember, guys, you can submit your pets, hashtag PCC pets. Tag me in the show in there on Twitter. We will get to all of them as we can, but I've got a backlog, so go ahead and do that. Thank you, guys.
All right. A bizarre trigger warning was issued at the beginning of the film Wicked that I was unaware of. If you have a fragile mind, you might not want to go see Wicked because you're going to see the following. A green-skinned woman is mocked, bullied, and humiliated because of her skin color. That's actually a really deep metaphor for racism. A disabled woman in a wheelchair is treated in a condescending manner by able-bodied people, and talking animals are persecuted in a fantastical society. So this is your official trigger warning for all of the discrimination and prejudice that is a theme in the film Wicked. This was a trigger warning officially created by the British Board of Film Classification.
Well, that makes sense. You can't say anything in Britain without getting in trouble anymore.
Because I guess this is what they do. They offer official disclaimers for all of this stuff in any theatrical release in Britain. They also offered them for violence, one of threat and horror that says occasional threatening scenes include fantastical creatures and human guards chasing after two women. People narrowly escape an explosion. Monkeys appear to be in pain and distress as they grow wings, and there are brief, scary moments. And this is a disclaimer they wrote for adult viewers, not for children, just so we're clear. You said Matt Smith spoke out against trigger warnings because he himself is British. I believe he would be more familiar with the regulations that they put on these things.
Yeah.
And they actually said that that is a sign of his privilege that he is against trigger warnings.
Yeah.
You can only be against trigger warnings if you are not part of the affected minority groups.
It reminded me of
who need them.
It reminded me of the meme that would go around a couple years ago, where like if you watched the original Twister on streaming, it would say rated PG-13 for frightening scenes of storms.
You couldn't have a more on the nose metaphor for racism than a race swapped Elphaba with green skin who gets discriminated against for having green skin. So that needed a disclaimer, apparently.
I do agree with Matt Smith and what most people say in these situations, which is it's actually detrimental to the movie-going experience to put these types of things on there. And oddly enough, I think the same holds true a lot of the time when you watch channels like this and you get a preconceived notion about what a movie may be. Maybe we review it and we point out something in the movie that bothers us. Then if you're going to see it, that's all you're going to be looking for rather than coming across it naturally. And here's the thing. It might not bother you as much as it bothers someone else. Like what somebody else points out in a movie may be something that annoys you, but it actually might be less annoying because you're not getting the entirety of the experience as you watch it. So an annoying scene in a movie can be annoying, but if it's bookended by great work at the beginning and the end, it's not going to bother you as much. But if you go into it knowing that scene is there, you're going to disregard the possible good that could come before and after, because what you're looking for is that scene to bother you.
Yeah, you need to understand who you are. Like this is like if you're the type of person who can't handle gory scenes, right? Are you going to watch a slasher film? Yeah. If you get faint at the sight of blood, are you going to watch Scream? Like that would be a personal decision that you have to make. Or for instance, a classic movie like Gone with the Wind, they have offered disclaimers about racism about in Gone with the Wind. Or there's a scene in Gone with the Wind where one of these soldiers has to get his leg amputated. Yeah. If you know that you're the type of person who is easily shaken by violent scenes like that, don't watch the movie. Doesn't mean that other people can't watch and enjoy the movie, but know who you are. Yeah. And actually, maybe you should challenge yourself. If you can't handle things like that, maybe you should go in and challenge yourself to be able to handle things like that.
I've just found that a lot of times when we get these aren't the trigger warnings, when people talk about the awful woke stuff in movies and television shows, usually when it's television shows, it's as bad as I imagine it being because they spend more time on it. But usually when they talk about it in movies, it's fly by night and it passes and then the movie just keeps going and it doesn't bother me as much. But it has the potential to be worse in my brain because I knew it was coming beforehand because people are talking about it, which is why I talk about how I avoid reviews before I even go watch them, because their opinion will color my experience watching the movie before I even get to it. And I think that holds true for trigger warnings as well.
I think there's only one trigger warning that should have been shown for Wicked. It should say, trigger warning, Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande are in this movie. Because the worst thing about this film has been all of the marketing around it, their personalities, and them holding hands and bursting into tears in interviews. The rest of it, I don't really care. Another one of these actresses in the movie, it was referred to here in the trigger warning, a disabled woman in a wheelchair is treated in a condescending manner by able-bodied people in this movie. Okay. Her name is Nessa Rose in the movie, and she is played by an actress named Marissa Bode, and she experiences discrimination in the movie. She's now had to speak out on her TikTok account, saying that people are making discriminatory comments about her character for having a disability, and it needs to stop. So, as if things could possibly get any worse for the social media discussion of Wicked,
okay, here we go.
Here's this.
Low-hanging fruit that too many of you are comfortable taking. Before even being cast in Wicked, I had received comments just as me, as Marissa, not Nessa, around the words of stand up for yourself, I guess you can't stand him, etc. These comments aren't original. And when these jokes are being made by non-disabled strangers with a punchline of not being able to walk, it very much feels like laughing at rather than laughing with. And I'm literally shaking a little bit. The most frustrating part about all of this is how scared I am to even post/talk about this, which is also the bigger reason as to why I'm making this video in the first place.
The scariest thing about this should be for her is like, when you get to that level of fame, or at least into a production of this level, it doesn't matter what you say, you're going to get stuff that's going to upset you.
Right.
You're going to get responses that are going to bother you. You don't get to... I think one of the things that actors of today might be envious of is like, and we'll get back to this, is that back in the day, when you were one of the anointed in Hollywood, when you were one of the big name celebrities, you got all the good, none of the bad. Like, you didn't have social media to have people pushing back on you. So you didn't have to deal with people's opinions on your work 24/7. The most you were going to get was like, you got bad reviews for your movie, right? But you're not going to go out and have people talking in Twitter language to you about what they think of your work. Mostly what you got was adulation and love. Now you can get that love more easily because you can become a niche internet micro celebrity. You can become famous, or in this case, you can star or be one of the stars of a big budget Hollywood film, but you don't get to do that anymore in a vacuum. Now you have to take the bad with the good, and I think a lot of this generation is kind of envious of the fact that before them, because they wouldn't be able to do it even if they wanted to. Like, none of these people would hand over their social medias to like a manager and be like, you handle it, right? They're addicted to the good, but they don't want the bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I just wonder what the hell she was trying to accomplish with posting this video. Because all of the people that would see this video and take it to heart weren't the ones making jokes about her wheelchair in the first place. And the people who were making jokes about her being in a wheelchair are going to continue making jokes about her being in a wheelchair because they find it funny and they don't care how you feel.
And even if they don't, no, they might not even find the jokes funny. They find your response to it funny, which is why the best response that you could have is none.
You're encouraging a pile-on now.
Yep.
I don't know how you can grow up. I mean, it looks like she's pretty young. You can grow up being this familiar with social media and how it works and not see the natural conclusion of telling people that their jokes bother you. Like, that's
it's a recipe for them to continue.
It's completely counterproductive.
Yep.
And I don't think that she came off entitled or anything. Nothing as bad as Cynthia Erivo's behavior, that's for sure.
No, maybe just naive to
getting mad at fan edits or whatever. But
naive to the way that these things work.
very naive, and you are asking too much from strangers on the internet. She said, you know, it's not asking too much to expect people to not make jokes like this. Yes, it is. You are definitely asking too much. In a real world
setting, that might be true. If we're talking like where there's social decorum in a room with people at an event, that wouldn't be asking too much. On the internet, you're asking an absolutely insane thing of an entire populace. It's not going to happen.
You know who else was asking too much? The marketing department at Universal, when they were planning the marketing budget for Wicked. It, on top of being a $350 million movie that was 3 hours long and part one of two.
$150 million budget.
$150 million was for their production, or not their production, their...
And P&A. $150 million budget, 150 P&A. And then 350...
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. Yep.
350 for what?
350 for marketing partners. So partnering with Target, partnering with all of these makeup brands and stuff like that.
Oh, because they did the Stanley Cups. They did that weird mac and cheese thing. The Kraft mac and cheese.
So technically, the marketing, the partner marketing, doesn't show up on Universal's
Barbie
sheets.
dolls with porn links.
Yes.
Target makeup brands. They had an Xfinity ad.
$145 million budget for the movie. $150 million marketing.
Got it.
And then $350 million.
So that was more money than what they spent on the actual movie.
And then, and then $350 million partner marketing, which doesn't show up on their books. But still, there's a reason why I think the point I made to Mary is like, look, they said that if you went into Target over the weekend, you heard the Wicked soundtrack rather than Christmas music. The idea that you could, and I was at a Target over the weekend, I don't remember what I heard. The idea that any store is going to play something other than Mariah Carey when the holiday season starts must have cost a fortune.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah. The chief marketing officer at Universal said, "We knew the size of this enterprise and we had to treat it like a cultural event. This is IP, but there's not an existing film franchise, so we felt obligated to do everything to become an event."
Well, they did. They absolutely did.
I only think they accomplished that insofar as people hated Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande's behavior.
I mean, I don't think that's true. I don't think that the average person knows that stuff happened. I think the average person went by a bunch of displays and saw Wicked makeup and Wicked food and Wicked this and Wicked. I don't think that the average person even knows that Cynthia Erivo is a person. They don't know the name Cynthia Erivo.
No,
and they don't know that these two women were crying constantly into each other's shoulders while the marketing was going on.
If, I see mainstream Instagram influencers making skits mocking their behavior with no further context, and it's getting a lot of attention.
That was social media specific media, like entertainment, right? It was like these things were viral on social media, so influencers will latch on to that and make content out of it, right?
The brand strategy president said, "We were inspired by the vision of the filmmakers, including the scope and scale of this production and artistry in front and behind the camera. We started very early. Our goal was to make a culturally defining moment which would not only drive box office, but connect with fans and consumers and go beyond the Broadway shows following. There's something joyful, fantastical, and affectious about these characters." So they wanted to reach outside of the theater kid demographic and make this mainstream.
So it's made $359.3 million after 2 weekends. Only 97 of that has come international. So just think about this. It's made about $360 million. It's through its 2 biggest weeks so far, and it's just now hitting some of what the budget was with marketing. And remember, so you take $360 million, first of all, cut that in half. You don't keep all of that. The studio keeps half, and that's a rough estimate. The studio keeps roughly half of that. So they're making about, $170-something million, $180 million.
Do you think this is ridiculous that Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo were paid exactly the same amount?
Yes. Yeah,
I think that is effing ridiculous.
It's the most 2024 Hollywood thing, though, for no male star is going to do that.
Oh, no.
No. Actually, no, that's not true. There have been examples of male stars who have pushed for this. I can't remember off the top of my head. We've talked about it. But in this case, that always felt like a virtue signal.
No, it's insane. I know that Cynthia Erivo is technically the protagonist. It doesn't matter, though, because Ariana Grande is many, many times more famous and notable than Cynthia Erivo. And she is bringing more people to buy tickets.
It matters who the biggest star of the film is.
Ariana Grande is getting more people to see Wicked than Cynthia Erivo. That's just the truth. So
is that true?
Of course she's worth more money.
Is that true that they got paid the same? I heard
they did.
Like a huge
they insisted publicly. They both insisted that they were paid exactly the same amount.
Okay, then in one way that I could believe it is that they got the same base salary, but Ariana Grande has a way better deal on the back end if it does better.
Maybe. They partnered with Lexus, Starbucks, Target, Xfinity, Bloomingdale's, Lego.
We need
Barbie, obviously, Android, Hilton Hotels.
We need Daily Wire to make a parody of this when Snow White comes out, where they have Patriot Dirt product placement for their Snow White movie.
Betty Crocker, Kit Kat, H&M, Aerie, Crocs.
Yeah.
Absolute Vodka as well was in here. And then Ariana Grande's own beauty brand, which I would expect her to do.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Their chief marketing officer added, the world doesn't operate like a monoculture anymore, so you have to be everywhere. Yeah. They just had to assault our brains with Wicked merch so that we would be compelled and brainwashed to see the movie.
Wasn't Jeff Goldblum in this movie? He should be the highest paid.
He was?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
So there was a $20 there.
Pete Donovan said, happy 3rd PCC. I shall celebrate your birthday with Taco Bell when I get the chance. Here's to you guys continuing to forgive me, Brett. Nourish us with the most nourishingly nourishing nourishment that is pop culture craziness. You are welcome.
There will never be that level of nourishment anywhere, especially not if you're using that word.
This is extremely nourishing content.
Well, it's so funny because Jonathan Bailey's in this movie, and I was going on.
Oh yeah.
I was going on over the weekend that I found. If you have a soft spot in your heart for the show Merlin, I found this show from the BBC from 2011 called Leonardo, and it's kind of the same thing. It's like young Leonardo da Vinci, and it's the most historically inaccurate thing you've ever seen in the most unapologetic. They wear like Converse sneakers. I love it. It's so
it's just like alternate universe.
I don't think they're attempting to even be an alternate universe.
Oh,
it's just bad, and I love it.
They just didn't have a budget for shoes.
Yeah.
They're just like, wear whatever.
Kind of, and it's amazing, and it's from 2011. It was like very young Jonathan Bailey, like right when he was getting started. But yeah, so yeah, guys. I don't know if the movie's gonna ever make its money back.
We were put under a wicked trance.
With a budget that size and a marketing budget that size, I don't think it's going to make its money back. If it does, it doesn't really matter because part 2 is already coming out.
Yeah, so they're on the hook for the next one, which is, I'm sure, going to be 4 hours long.
Yeah.
Just, to prove how much you love musicals.
All right, let's go to Super Chats.
Shane H. Wilder said, happy 3rd birthday, Brett and Mary. You don't look a day over 1.5. Which is the true birthday, today or the first live show on May 16th?
Today is the true birthday of the show.
The show itself, yes.
The show itself started today. So.
But that was prior to me.
Yeah.
I joined in April 1st, 2022. That was the first day that I started out here. Andrew Jacobs said, happy 3rd. How was y'all's Thanksgivings? I had filet mignon on Thursday, 2 excellent bourbon barrel-aged stouts on Friday, and watched 4 80s movies.
Bro, sound like you lived it up.
Damn.
Like, that's good. What 80s movies did you watch?
I don't think I can measure up to all that. I just had all the normal Thanksgiving food.
Yeah, we had a great Thanksgiving. Like I very much enjoyed the downtime. Now, I have a tradition on Thanksgiving and Christmas, when available and when it's possible, I go skate outside at businesses that are typically open all of the time because some of the few days, for instance, again, this is not me advocating for you to go and do that because technically skating is destruction of property. But if you were to want to go skate rails and ledges at, say, like a government building, one of the only days of the year that you can go and do that is Thanksgiving and Christmas because they're closed. And security guards tend to be in a better mood on Thanksgiving and Christmas because they're getting time and a half.
Are you telling people to break the law?
No. I said I can't advocate for you doing that, but I'm saying if you do skate, that's when I go do it.
Okay.
But I did not go skate at any government buildings this Christmas. But I did go, or this Thanksgiving. But I did go skate, and then we went and we watched football. And
you're into football.
Olivia's from Michigan, and Detroit plays on Thanksgiving. So we watched, and they won. They beat the Bears, which is fine with me. And then and we had Thanksgiving food. She had turkey, and I had not turkey.
You didn't eat turkey?
I had stuffing and mashed potatoes. And
you don't like turkey?
I'm not a huge turkey fan.
Like, I don't think it's the greatest thing in the world, but it's like, it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like.
And then we had
wow.
Yeah, it was good though. It was very low key.
You just literally ate bread and potatoes.
Yeah,
like that's what that was.
I'll just say I'm on a diet.
Oh sure.
Yeah,
I'm on a diet of only
I'm on a high
carbs.
carb diet.
Yep.
Yeah.
DCNC said sounds like they're taking a 6-month birthday, Shane.
What does that mean?
Maybe we're gonna have a birthday year. How about that?
Let's do one more.
Shane H. Wilder said, man, first it was birthday, then birthday week, then birthday month. Now it's birthday half year. This is getting ridiculous.
Not true.
We are going to have a birthday month.
Yeah.
You guys have to celebrate us for the next month before Christmas, at least.
All right. Let's move on.
All right. So this is sadder news, more dark stuff. The former drummer of My Chemical Romance, named Bob Breyer, died last month at the age of 44. And sadly, tragically, his body was not found until 25 days later in his apartment. And TMZ reported on this, some of the disturbing details. Law enforcement told TMZ that he was found dead in his Tennessee home after last being seen alive on November 4th. There is no foul play suspected because his weapons and music equipment in the home were left untouched. But animal control had to be called to his house after the body was discovered. His body was badly decomposed, and they took 2 dogs out of the house. The medical examiner is investigating the cause and manner of Breyer's death, but people are basically assuming that this was his own doing. They were talking about him selling some of his own prized possessions as well shortly before this happened. Pop Bass posted an announcement of his death on November 29th. No further comment was made about him, but they had to turn off their comment section on that post because the responses were so disgusting that they had to just turn off all.
I'm surprised they did anyways.
I'm surprised that they turned off comments for that reason, but there were so many people celebrating and rejoicing at his death in the comments section, they had to turn off comments. Why? I had no idea prior to this, but apparently he was right-wing and he tweeted some stuff that offended leftists. Therefore, they're saying he deserved to die young. They are just gloating over the fact that he wasn't found for many days, almost a month after his death. They think that this is something to celebrate, and they are gloating about it on social media, stuff that you would say obviously behind your screen, not in person to his loved ones. But here were some of the responses. One said, look, Bob Breyer was a polarizing figure, but I don't think anyone should be so alone that they were just dead in their house undiscovered for 25 days.
Yeah.
They are saying that he deserved this because he was vaguely right-wing. Like, his political views were right-wing. That's all I know. He was problematic in their eyes. So this person responded saying, well, yes, actually, they should. Unfortunately, you don't get to live your life as a shitty person and then magically have people support you in your death or after it. People are real and not a point in your story. If you want relationships with them, you have to nurture that. And another one said, he 100% did it to himself. You could not pay me to care that the bastard died in the hole he dug himself. Shouldn't have been a violently racist and transphobic piece of shit.
It's really funny because I remember, like, there would be videos made after like John McCain died, or any of these like old guard right-wing warmongers who sent your kids off to die in a war that didn't need to happen in the first place. And some would be like, I'm not going to feel bad that the guy who sent your children off to die died. Like, especially if they didn't die and, you know, they just died of old age, whatever. Okay. Even then, my instinct is to say, I'm not going to celebrate either way, but that would be more applicable than a dude who just said some stuff online that you disagree with and who doesn't agree with your lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
So this happens on both sides. It happens far more because the left has a lot of violent fantasies. They always seem to come back to fantasies of violence and stuff like that. Oddly enough, the ones who've had the least actual real world experience with any violence tend to be prone towards the most violent fantasies. So this doesn't surprise me at all. It's the exact problem we have with so much of social media now, which is that you couldn't imagine someone saying something like that to you in the real world ever.
Or to anyone he knows either.
Yes, exactly.
And like, I'm sure that Gerard Way of My Chemical Romance, he is a massive lefty. I'm sure that he disagreed with his drummer about pretty much every political issue.
What does violently racist mean? Like what like how do you describe violent in that? Is this violent as in,
if he
like,
had committed a violent crime, they would have said that, but that's not the point. It's that his rhetoric must have been rhetoric was violent.
This is one of the reasons why I like whenever I go on IRL, I say like this is why politics is so depressing, right? Because we're talking about a celebrity, somebody who made music. Music is one of the most inspirational and influential things for young people. I mean, for everyone, right? But especially if we're talking emo, we're talking about young people, right? Something that's supposed to bring so many people together, and it's the opposite of vile, right? Creation is the opposite of vile. And it's one of the reasons why if I was someone in that world, even if I had strong political opinions, I probably wouldn't share them because, and again, maybe I'm just not as, I'm just not a polarizing person in general. But it always just kind of bums me out, right? Is like, you look at this stuff, you look at the act of creation, making music that people love. The same is true for actors. And then you see what happens if you deviate at all from anything that they want, and you see the opposite. You see the worst of humanity in politics, and this does go for both sides, but obviously we understand that in the last few years, especially in the rise of social media, we see this predominantly because they have been primed by an evil mainstream media that has told them that the people that disagree with you don't just have opposite opinions, they're evil, which makes them feel comfortable in expressing these types of notions. I would hold the media every bit as responsible for this type of sentiment as I would the people saying it themselves. They're both responsible. The media is responsible for portraying people with opposing views as some type of faceless evil, and they're responsible for not being mature enough to actually go into it, look into it, and find a little bit of nuance. So.
I didn't know anything about Bob Breyer's political views. Apparently he tweeted a lot of stuff that pissed these people off. You know, I just think that if you're creative, if you're an artist, you're more likely to be extreme in other ways too, and unpredictable. So that would go for any of them. Yeah. More prone to risk-taking behavior too. But it's certainly a different thing to sit there and say, I'm not sad about this person's death, versus I am actually rejoicing and boasting about it, and I wished this upon them, and this is what they deserve, to die in possibly like one of the most undignified ways possible, and be mocked afterwards because you said some stuff online that hurt my feelings. Or no, it didn't hurt their feelings. They are performatively hurt. They are performatively, like, you know, crying out as they stab you or whatever. Yep. Like the saying goes. That's what they're doing. They're pretending that this guy personally hurt them. I don't know anything about the type of person he was, the views he held, other than he vaguely was like anti-woke.
Hey, who was it the Mumford and Sons dude. He's good. This is your fate in the future too, sadly.
Ronnie Radke of Falling in Reverse, who has had a huge turnaround with the amount of success his music is doing.
That's very different
insane numbers now. Yeah. But he's also the type of person who doesn't care who he pisses off, and he'll just says whatever he thinks. Yeah. And he won't let people back him into a corner, and I think that's really cool. When you're talented. If you're not talented, maybe you should just have an anonymous account. But it's cool that he is good at what he does and speaks his mind freely and doesn't care who boycotts him for it.
That's why Phil is allowed to to have the opinions that he has, because he doesn't care, and he's well read, he's educated on everything that he speaks about, and he's extremely talented and does his job well, so nobody can back him into a corner and say, look, we're not going to support you unless you say this. He knows that his talent will out in the end.
I like to think that these people in the comments are not adults. Like, I like to imagine them being like 15-year-olds on the internet.
No, these are people in their 30s at some desk job.
Unfortunately, I don't think that's the case. They're saying he's reaped what he sowed. One person said he was a huge bigot and kind of brought this on himself. I'm not going to celebrate this, but him being so alone was a bed that he made. Another one said, I think people who wish death upon minorities deserve exactly that.
Did he do that? Again,
I don't know.
Did he do that?
I literally don't know, but if he did, there would be proof, right? Well, even if he did, it's like, okay, so you said something insane. Do you deserve a violent, lonely, devastating death? Like, no, I don't think that people deserve that. Another one said, I hate the amount of y'all that can excuse violent fascism, racism, and bigotry as, quote, different political views. That is so funny when we think about this person's worldview. They would literally say that you're one of the violent fascists, Brett.
Yeah, I know.
So that's why the distinction doesn't matter. Another one said, worst part of this is it most likely was his own doing. Over the last few months, he always came off as lonely and seeking attention. And of course, going down the alt-right pipeline makes all the decent people in your life stop talking to you.
Again, that's where they draw the line at the distinction, meaning that, first of all, like to what you just said earlier, there is no alt-right. It's just all alt-right.
Yeah,
to them,
yes.
Because if you consider me to be alt-right, you've lost your mind. But they would consider me to be alt-right, even though I'm not, because I don't even know what that term means anymore.
Yeah, it's like they're also trying to reduce down. They're like being reductive by explaining away his suicide as a result of his political views. Yeah. Actually, they're trying to say that he was isolated, lonely, depressed because of his political views, which is insane if you think about it for a second. Maybe you could say that being depressed led him to more extreme views. I don't know if that's true. Yeah. But it definitely wasn't the other way around. And they don't even know this guy, and they're coming up with they're crafting a whole narrative about how he ended up in this situation to bolster their own political philosophy.
It makes them feel better about what they believe.
When these people are not happy. Yeah. These people are actually very deeply depressed and bitter and angry at the world.
I think the best thing that you can do, not that I have any right to give anybody any advice, is that when somebody you don't like suffers or dies or anything like that, using it, you don't even have to have an opinion on what you think about their death or misfortune. Using it as a moment for personal introspection is a healthier way to deal with it, even if it's somebody you dislike. Because what I would find is that in my worst moments, if I was to feel something like that, first of all, I would never post it just because I would never post something like that online. But I would immediately feel gross internally. Like, I would feel gross for putting it out there. I can forgive the thought most of the time. You think what you think, fine. Yeah, you can't always control what comes in your brain. But making the choice to then be vocal about it is something else entirely. And, you know, maybe it is a politician who sent your kids off to die in war. And the feeling is justified because what politicians do to the youth, especially in this country, is abhorrent. But going out there and posting it intensely, it just takes a little bit of your soul every time. And I don't think that that's healthy.
Yeah, it makes them stupid too.
Yeah.
Okay, let's read some super chats. Brian Bledsoe said, "Happy birthday to my #1 podcast this year, according to YouTube."
I saw that, buddy.
Thank you.
I saw that. I reposted it on my Instagram. Thank you.
Hopefully your temporary placement in my Instagram stories today will be a brief replacement until you receive your play button.
Someday. Okay, so here's a
play button, huh?
I got a funny story.
We're at how many subscribers now? We're at 252,000 subscribers, which, thank you, by the way. The channel was growing over Thanksgiving break. But we're at 252,000 subscribers, and we still have not gotten our 100K silver play button.
I got a funny story. So I was back at the castle. I had to get something from the castle, and I was downstairs in, like, the supply room, and all the silver play buttons that Tim has are just kind of stacked up there.
How many are there?
Okay, so there was. So here's the thing, guys. There was the Timcast silver play button.
Yes.
There was the
there are
the
3
Tim
channels,
Pool.
right?
There was the Tim Pool silver play button.
Yeah.
There was the Cast Castle silver play button, and then there was a 4th one called Tim Casts with an S. I don't know what that one is.
I don't know what that one
was
is.
that a misprint?
You know what? Let's take that one and then we'll just put tape over it.
I'm thinking that's the right idea. I don't know what
I want the real deal. Have you gotten an update from
no emails back from them. I'm gonna just order one.
I feel like it's just time to give up. I don't know, man. We didn't deserve this.
Look, but they're saying I stole it, bro. There is camera evidence that I did no such
you
thing.
Would not. DCNC said, "I made a cherry ripe pie. Delicious, especially the coconut."
Nom, nom,
you
nom.
made a pie out of those chocolate bars? That sounds disgusting.
Let's do 2 more.
Andrew Jacobs said, "Watched both Airplanes, First Naked Gun, and Spaceballs."
Nice. That's a good.
Sounds like a good lineup.
All right. Do one more.
Based Jew said, "I'm just here to say happy birthday," with an F.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. All right. Let's just move on then.
Haley Steinfeld just got engaged to an NFL quarterback named Josh Allen. And since the announcement of their engagement, the internet has just had a complete and utter meltdown, including her former co-star, Shameik Moore, from Spider-Verse. He was struggling when he found out that she got hitched. He tweeted, "There's still more people to meet, more opportunities to come, and more chances to try. Live, learn, apply." And this blew up because obviously he was subtweeting his former colleague in there. Not, very stealthy either, given that it came out 20 minutes after the engagement post.
It might have been a good idea to wait a
Not a good look.
Wait a day?
No, just, put that in the drafts.
Yes.
Save to drafts exists for a reason. It's a very important feature.
One of the best things that we could do maybe is to start imprinting on people the importance of your drafts folder. You have no idea, guys. I don't even tweet controversial things. Sometimes I just get in the feels and tweet something. And then, you know what I do? Every time I put that shit in the draft folder. And I'm like, you know what? It's like when they say, if you're angry, write a letter, wait 7 days. If you're still angry, then mail it. Oh, no. No. And I bet you the hit rate on that is low, right? This is a problem with modern day lack of emotional regulation, right? That social media fosters, right?
Everybody encourages you to disclose everything immediately.
And everyone's like, I'm feeling something. I need to share it with everybody right now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine if it's the positive stuff, but the problem is the positive stuff never does numbers, right?
Right.
Like I post all sorts of stuff about shows that I'm like, oh, I found this new show. It's so freaking great. It's awesome. Nobody cares. But, it's like, oh, this movie freaking sucks. Who hired this guy?
And it's
numbers.
Yeah.
Put everything in the draft folder. We have to fix the low impulse control problem in this country.
Yeah. Another person who spoke too soon was Josh Allen's ex, actually. Her name is Brittany Williams. She was dating Josh Allen for 6 years prior to his relationship with Haley Steinfeld. And someone commented on her Instagram saying, haven't found the next pro athlete yet? And she responded, allegedly while hacked. She had her account hacked, right? She said,
I love the cope.
Luckily, my boyfriend owns a team and doesn't play for one. Don't have to be with another brain-dead CTE athlete.
That is... Remember, there's a lot of people that would have you believe today that women are just angels, that make no mistakes. They're perfect. We must protect them at all costs. She's like joking about people with serious mental problems because they've been hit in the head too many times.
No, she is an angel. She got hacked on Instagram,
yes.
Brett.
Yes.
That you don't understand. She posted it. She posted on her Instagram story saying, my account has been hacked several times tonight. I'm trying to get it resolved.
Yeah.
If anyone has any tips, please let me know. She is an angel. She got hacked.
I believe that as much as I believe that Kamala wasn't drunk in that video.
So those two were struggling. Shamik more, possibly more so than Josh Allen's ex, but
they're very mad at me. They think I shushed you. I apologize. I did not mean to. I did not mean to shush her.
It's okay.
I would have lost the thought there
It's
if
okay.
I did say. My apologies.
Some people are very jealous of Haley Steinfeld. One said, "Oh, look at me! I'm Haley Steinfeld. I got to be in a Transformers movie. I'm Vi in Arcane. I'm Gwen in the Spider-Verse movies. I'm Kate Bishop in the MCU, and I can sing. Now I get to marry a quarterback. F you."
I mean, I actually appreciate the complete lack of couth.
I don't care that something good happened to you. It should have happened to me instead.
The viral, unapologetic jealousy is actually kind of a vibe.
And she is a gorgeous girl. She's clearly very successful. She's blowing up right now. I never saw this before, but when they were on the press tour for Spider-Verse, Shamik Moore was hitting on her very relentlessly. Her co-star was just relentlessly hitting on her, simping for her, making comments here and there.
I do want to
trying
point
to
out,
make moves on her.
Haley Steinfeld did do one of the more impossible things, which she made a Marvel Disney Plus show that wasn't insufferable.
Oh, that's impressive.
I actually didn't hate Hawkeye, and given the fact that the formula for Hawkeye is absolutely the type of thing that most people in this space hate, which is that, look, she's there to replace Clint. She's the Hawkeye now, right? That's the whole point of that character. The Kate Bishop is that she's going to be there to replace him, and they made a Christmas show. It was good. It was fine. I enjoyed it. You don't get a lot of that. Well, people liked WandaVision fine for the most part, and Loki, but other than that, very hit and miss there. So she's above and beyond. She gets to be an Avenger. She gets to be Gwen Stacy. She gets to be a singer.
She has
and now
all.
she's not even marrying a linebacker or a special teams or a kicker. She's marrying a quarterback. It's perfectly normal to be jealous of that.
We have a $100 super chat from Just 'Cause I'm Free. Really want to see Mocha in a cute elf costume. Give me what I want, Brett. Is $100 enough?
No.
That is not
after
high enough price.
I had to get home on Tuesday and have Diva Mocha being absolutely insufferable. With
she
her
was throwing things.
Her insufferable voice.
Calling names, yeah. So there was this video that went viral of Shamik Moore shooting his shot with Haley Steinfeld, and she was having none of it. He was simping for her hard. Bro is down tremendous.
Here's
and
a 27-second montage?
Yeah, this is the compilation.
Oh boy, hold on here. Out there, here we go.
It's easier to be Miles flirting with Gwen when I'm looking at Haley.
When you're looking at her, right.
I was very happy to work with Haley.
Yeah. I gotta do this. I gotta
The pause before she's like
the inhale.
It's literally the meme of anyway.
So anyways,
gotta make a movie.
I'm gonna watch Paper Moon just so I can,
So you know?
just so I can be closer to Haley. It's easier looking at Haley being Miles trying to get to Gwen, you know what I mean?
She just, she's not interested in you, bro. It's fine.
Like, the sad thing is, he's a movie star now. I mean, he's a voice acting movie star, but he's still a movie star.
Thank you.
People love those movies. The Spider-Verse movies are extremely popular. Can't hate the bro for trying, but I can hate the bro for continuing to try after she clearly wasn't interested.
I mean, I think he just got tragically, coworker zoned.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't take a hint. I saw some responses here. One said, when it comes to shooting your shot, especially at the workplace, you have one attempt. If you flirt and she doesn't seem receptive, it's over. And after that, it's literally harassment. Because we live in an HR culture now.
Yeah.
Some people legitimately were saying that they think he is predatory for flirting with her on the press circuit because she was not really giving him signals that she was into it. They were comparing it to Zendaya and Tom Holland doing press together.
Yeah, and
that's what they were comparing it to, because Zendaya was all over Tom Holland. White on rice.
He was winning the green line test big time in that one.
Yeah. Even though he's short. He's a short king. But Zendaya was down tremendous for Tom Holland. So if it's anything less than that, I would say back off.
Yeah.
Right?
Or
good rule of thumb.
Or maybe, you go the Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney route and you work it out beforehand and it's all for show.
Exactly. I think a lot of that, fake or real PR relationship stuff has really fallen off in recent years because of the amount of paranoia people have.
Yeah.
And
not to mention, she didn't have to just serve this photo that's literally
bro spent millions of dollars on a photo shoot with all of these props and everything. It was a whole moment. She's living her best life. She's living her dream. She's with her dream man.
We've talked about it before. Sometimes the women, they get the quarterback, they get the guy, they get the job, they get everything.
It's that girl that Taylor Swift was singing about.
Yeah. Here's the best advice I could give anyone, man or woman, whether it's a guy being jealous of the other guy who's more successful, or the girl who's jealous of the girl who gets the guy who's more successful and has a career. It's focus on your own life and not on the successes of other people. Because that's what creates the have and have not culture we live in now, where somebody else's success is by its very nature an attack on you. And that type of jealousy goes a long way in ruining your life. And before you even realize it, that type of vibe it kind of infests your existence and you can't get away from it. I think that one of the best things that you can be born into is a family that teaches you a certain level of gratitude no matter what your life is going through at the time. There's a reason why, even before I got this job, which I'm very, very fortunate to have, is that even at my worst, I was very, very fortunate to come out of getting sober is its own reward, right? It's wow, life is hard right now, but it could be worse. And I know that that's a cliche. It's kind of like a boomer thing to be, however bad it is, you could always have it worse. Mm-hmm. It's a boomerism, but it's true. It doesn't have to be everything you believe, but it goes a long way to be grateful for what you have. Otherwise, all you're going to think about is what other people, the things that other people have.
I mean,
it's no way to live.
Hope that Shameik Moore is not having an actual existential crisis over his co-star getting engaged
My hope would
to
be
another
that
man.
Not.
But I think this is a recurring theme with men. They can't take positive hints and they can't take negative hints either. They're just generally not receptive to hints in general. I've heard so many guys tell me that they've been told before by their friends, oh, she was clearly making hints to you that she likes you. What, why didn't you ask for her number, etc. And they were like, what? I didn't know that. Yeah. You've even said the same thing has happened to you before. Other people had to tell you that you were ignoring the signals and you had no idea. But it's also the same thing with guys who think a woman might be interested, but she's giving many hints that she's not. And they can't pick up on that either. What's the difference between those two guys?
Luckily, Olivia can speak in very, very clear, like small words to me in a very, very
sound it out.
Yeah, we're very, very lucky in that way.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very blessed in that respect. So
right.
Poor dude. You know what's gonna be worse is now like they're gonna be finishing Across the Spider-Verse, and he's gonna be like all the dialogue's just gonna seem like he's being a little short with her. He's not gonna be able to.
This ruined it.
It's gonna be rough.
It's never
guys.
gonna be the same. You know?
I mean, that kills any chance of them playing the characters live action.
Hard to feel bad for a guy that won't take the effing hit. I mean, yeah. He's gonna need to.
You know what's gonna happen? He's gonna find love, and he's gonna be happier than he even know is possible. And what's gonna happen then is it will color his perspective. He's like, you know what? Good for her.
You know, there are other fish in the sea, and it's just like he said. There are always more people to meet. Yeah.
Advice for himself.
Corey Anderson said over 250,000 subscribers. Play button. I was asking myself the same question.
Seriously, bro.
I genuinely think we are the most oppressed YouTube channel that exists.
Super oppressed.
They hate us.
If Karl Marx knew what YouTube was, he would be in our corner.
We're feeling alienated from our labor right now.
Yes.
Marcos said, happy 3rd birthday, PCC. Here's a random knock knock dad joke. Knock knock, who's there? Keto. Keto who? Yo, Keto Taco Bell?
Nice.
Wait, what?
It was an old advertising campaign.
Yes,
for Taco Bell.
When?
Quiero Taco Bell. Probably when you were very, very young.
I have no memory of this.
Before you were born.
I'm sure it was very clever. I'm sorry I didn't laugh. New Guy Don't Haze Me said move over Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. Josh Allen, Haley Steinfeld are the new athlete and celebrity power couple. Also, happy birthday, PCC.
Look, unfortunately, just to put everything into perspective.
She's like an ant in terms of fame compared to Taylor Swift.
So let's put this lady's like tweet into perspective where she talks about all the things that Haley Steinfeld has that she doesn't. Then Haley Steinfeld can be like, yeah, but I'm not Taylor Swift.
Right. There's always
somebody bigger and better.
Who does Taylor Swift compare herself to? That I wonder.
I mean, in terms of like, I mean, she's kind of unique in the perspective of being like a pop star with.
There's never been anyone like her.
It would be bigger than her. Would be like Ronaldo. Would be like Cristiano Ronaldo.
So Taylor Swift compares herself to Ronaldo.
Yeah,
she can try her hand at soccer.
She's like, yeah, well, I can't play soccer. Oh, sorry, football.
Football, yeah.
There you go. Look, Mr. Beast is like collaborating with him now because he knows that eventually that dude's going to catch up to him at some point.
Well, maybe Taylor Swift compares herself to Ballerina Farm.
The thing is, that's even worse then. Like once you reach a certain level of fame for her, there is probably this.
You can only compare yourself to ordinary people who live a more ordinary life.
And then want that.
Or the appearance of it, yeah. Shane H. Wilder said, I was researching something and discovered that filming for the It's a Wonderful Life remake starts in January. It will be made by the creator of Blackish and race swap the cast. Yeah. Why? Just why? This is the first I'm hearing about it.
I remember.
And I'm already pissed.
Yeah.
That's awful.
I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that.
They just can't make anything without race swapping, can they? There's just nothing. Nothing is sacred.
That project was announced a long time ago, so the world is very different now.
Do you think that they're gonna trash it? Is it gonna actually get made?
My bet would be no, because it'll end up being Oscar bait.
Ugh.
So it won't have the cultural significance.
Like an abomination. What is it?
Okay.
No, is it like going to be like a Kwanzaa movie?
Look, this is the other thing is like there's different levels to this stuff. So I posted the trailer not over the weekend, on Wednesday for the Watson TV show that they're making that's coming out on CBS. And I said, look, people are going to complain about the race swap. But here's the thing. It's being made by the same dude who made Elementary, which race and gender swapped Watson and got 8 seasons from 2012 to like 2019, right? And on network television, nobody's going to care. The boomers will watch it. They will not care. There is a long history of race and gender swaps on television that get tons of Look, The Equalizer with Queen Latifah is on like season 5. Who the hell wants to watch Queen Latifah Equalizer? Nobody I know. And I love boomer TV.
I didn't know about that.
I loved Elementary with Johnny Lee Miller and Lucy Liu. I thought it was great. Look, they race swapped Magnum PI. They've done this to all sorts of characters. The shows still do plenty well because it just doesn't like the audience is already just fighting for a pulse anyways because it's CBS, which traditionally their demographics run above the 18 to 49 advertiser friendly demographics anyways. And Morris Chestnut, who is the guy starring in that show, is actually a very, very talented and competent actor. And I wouldn't be surprised to see it do it 3 or 4 seasons. But look, it came and went. Nobody cared. Like, people wrote their articles. Oh my God, race swap. Nobody cared. Except me, just me. I'm like, this is my Super Bowl because I love boomer TV. So nobody's going to care but me.
Ghost Soup said, Brett, will Hunter Biden be joining your Tax Dodgers Hall of Fame?
He should. He should. Maybe I'll get a picture of
I
Hunter.
don't know, man.
Look,
I heard worse things about him than just tax evasion. I thought the Hall of Fame was supposed to be a wholesome thing.
Yeah, I suppose. Maybe I'll leave Hunter Biden off there. I do love that they just blatantly, they're like, for any crimes committed between 2014 and 2024. Wait, when did he join the board of Burisma? 2014. Well, that is surprising.
Waffle Sensei said, happy 3 years, friends. Love you.
Thank you, Waffles.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Red Snow said, all right, gang, let's sing happy birthday.
No.
Well,
no.
as long as you are the one singing and not us, because we're not going to sing it to ourselves.
We were at like a Logan's Steakhouse.
Oh, they do that.
And we saw this poor 16-year-old guinea pig have to.
Was it a girl?
It was a girl.
Yeah.
And they sang happy birthday to her.
Did she like it? Did she want them to?
I mean, her hands were in her face.
Oh.
But here's the thing.
Oh, no.
Here's the thing. The waiter who led this was the happiest person I have ever seen in my entire life and looked as if he lived to sing people happy.
I think his name was probably, let me think.
There was
maybe it was Randall.
There was like 3 or 4 people who had to work there and do this.
Yeah.
This one dude who led it looks like he volunteers to lead each and everyone. He loves it.
He should work at Cold Stone Creamery.
I couldn't tell if he loved it because he's just genuinely likes making people happy, or deep down he's a psychopath who knows that he's going to humiliate
people. Yeah.
Either way, respect. You love your work.
Some kind of mix of both.
Yeah.
He should work at Cold Stone though. You know they do that, right?
Oh, awful.
Have you been?
I've been to Cold Stone, but not.
I don't know if those are like a regional thing.
No, there's one in the Mall of America specifically that I've been to.
Yeah, it's impressive though.
Yes.
They know so many songs. Like, where do they practice?
I'm not doing it.
Red Snow said, all right, gang, let's sing happy birthday. Oh, I already read that one. Weird Traveler said, when will get cute of the day first? I want to end the segment feeling negative about life sometimes. I agree.
No.
But most people like to have the palate cleanser. We'll do that tomorrow, though.
Yes, just remind me.
Shane H. Wilder said, dog over here thinking he's Tobit or some shit. Who was that referring to, though?
I can't see it. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I'll remember later. Sorry. Not that John Stewart said, as a former husky owner, spoiled husky is a redundant statement.
Well, they're adorable.
They're very loud.
Oh, that's my favorite part. So,
oh my gosh, they scream.
My guilty pleasure on YouTube is like channels dedicated, like there was Sherpa. Sherpa's a husky on YouTube that I follow.
You follow dogs on YouTube?
A couple of them, yeah. That's
do their owners talk in the video?
Or and create videos with video content with the dogs. Sherpa was particularly famous in like where it lived and was like a celebrity in its town.
Okay.
Because he had like over 1 million subscribers.
Why though?
Because everyone loves dog content. It's wholesome.
I only get cat videos personally, so.
Oh, Jeremy Briggs, Luna the Panther. Yes, I do follow Luna the Panther on Instagram.
Someone owns a panther?
Owns a panther.
That's really dangerous.
They're Russian. and they live in like literally like September comes around and the ground's just snow.
They should not.
They have a panther
panthers.
and a dog, and they're best friends, and they just hang out every day.
It's not going to end well.
Well, I love Luna the panther.
Glitches said, "Happy birthday to the greatest background noise." Everybody agrees. It's so true, and we say it all the time. Thank you.
I'm thinking about changing my my description on social media to be like creator of background noise.
Thank you. I have podcast strips in my bio.
We create background noise for you each and every day. That's our job.
Pete Donovan said, "How long until there is a trigger warning for It's a Wonderful Life, because Mr. Potter is not exactly the good guy?" I'm sure they could add a domestic violence trigger warning, because there's a point where I think he like slaps his wife.
Again, I really do think that you hurt the culture by not just letting it, let it happen to people in the movies. They have to be exposed to these types of situations on their own and not preparing for it beforehand.
Like, I don't know if we are in a culture anymore where you can see this character hit his wife and want redemption for him.
Yeah.
Like, when I watched that movie, like, I wanted to see that character be redeemed.
Now there's just no.
Now, I don't know if any modern day screenwriters are capable of even creating a story like that. Like, that's just anathema in our day and age.
Yeah. So
I don't have high hopes. Ken Man said Madonna looks fantastic for her age.
That is not true.
Sure, fine. Believe what you want. DCNC said, Brett, you celebrated Thanksgiving on the U.S. date, not the Canadian date. Fully converted Frostback.
I was never Canadian, though.
You were a sleeper agent.
I'm from Minnesota. Look, just because I love Canadian television doesn't mean that I'm Canadian. So, I do love Canadian TV shows. Like I said, I've been watching. After watching Leonardo, which is not a Canadian, it was filmed in South Africa very randomly.
Okay.
I started watching Da Vinci's Inquest, which is a Canadian show from like the late 90s. I think it was like 98.
I can't believe you're doing all of this and not watching Scream Queens.
Yeah. I need to watch Falling Skies too.
Okay, watch Scream Queens before Falling Skies and watch it tonight.
And what I mean by Canadian, TV is not shows filmed in Canada, because tons of shows are filmed in Canada. Yeah. I mean shows that actually use like Canadian money and take place in Canadian cities.
That Psych was not filmed in Santa Barbara.
You're like, no!
I was so pissed.
How sad were you?
There was one time when I was visiting Santa Barbara last year, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can look up like spots where they filmed Psych, and I was like, then they were like, psych, bitch. We didn't film it in Santa Barbara. It was in Vancouver.
It's way cheaper to film in Vancouver. That's right. Like pretty much. So all of the Arrowverse shows, whether it's Starling City, whether it's.
But they're like dressing in flip flops and like button ups, and they're acting like it's not freezing. It's insane.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Omega Red fan said sweet potatoes are better than turkey. No. That's not true. You don't actually think that, right?
I don't have any opinions.
Okay. Pete Donovan said a PCC birthday octave is the best way to celebrate.
I
don't know what that means. Corn Pop sent us a sticker.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mondo said Brett Mocha is the most disgusting, vile creature to ever plague humanity. Saves to drafts.
I have never.
No, that's
done
when you
that.
post. That's when you hit post.
I would actually hit post on that.
DCNC said the amount of times my phone has been hacked and they've sent sus shit out exactly as I would say it. These hackers are really smart, yo.
That is crazy how they always seem to know exactly what I'm thinking but wouldn't post.
What is CTE though?
That's like concussion, like head trauma.
Okay. I don't even know what it stands for, but
there was a Will Smith movie on it, and it has to do with getting concussions,
like
and
nerve damage or something.
No, it's like it's trauma to your brain after concussions.
Okay. Well, I don't think that Josh Allen has that. I hope
Well,
not.
I mean, probably one day.
Maybe. Dingus Khan said, Brett, I watched Landman over the weekend, liking it so far. Also, happy birthday, PCC. Always a refreshing break from the politics I usually consume.
Yeah, I'm one episode behind on Landman, but a lot of people are really, really liking it so far, and I approve. The first 2 episodes were good, minus the one creepy... Actually, no, minus any scene with the daughter. The scenes with the daughter were weird, but other than that, I'm enjoying it. Billy Bob Thornton is a fantastic actor.
Degeneracy.
Yeah.
Just because I'm free said, I really want to see... Oh, I read that one. Sorry.
And thank you again for that.
Thank you for the crisis party. Yurishima Otaru said, did everyone just see Brett lash out at Mary, SMH?
I was like, shh. I apologize. I said I'm sorry.
See, you're actually the abusive one. I think they're finally finding out the truth.
Is that what it is?
And I've been unfairly accused of these things this whole time.
Well,
they didn't know.
The best at it are the ones that hide it. Are best at hiding it.
The smile never reaches his eyes.
That is actually true when we're making the thumbnails, but that's because having to take pictures leaves me dead inside.
Pete Donovan said, I celebrated with a huge meatloaf while binging season 2 of the Frasier reboot. Mary, I highly recommend giving the new series a try. It is that good. Well, I know a lot of people have said positive things about it.
Yeah.
Frasier is my comfort show, so it'd be nice to have some new...
Do you have, like, I have so many comfort shows that I have to wonder, like, how many... Like,
I have multiple.
Yeah.
Gossip Girl, comfort show. Psych is always a comfort show. Frasier is a huge comfort show. And it's different if I'm in a hotel. Impractical Jokers.
Okay.
I was just in a hotel over the weekend, and Impractical Jokers, love it. I kind of think the Impractical Jokers are attractive.
Okay. What
Hot
I've
take.
realized
That's my hear me out.
What I've realized about shows like Psych is, like, it's not even the shows themselves, it's the vibe that they manage to capture that works so well. So the reason why I loved shows from that time period is there was just kind of an ambiance.
But it's also the lighting. The lighting and the colors.
So what I was pointing out to people, I gave 2 examples over the weekend. So you've heard me talk before endlessly about the show Almost Paradise, which came out in 2020. It was a Freevee original. It's on Freevee with ads. And I loved it. I love Christian Kane in that show. But one of the reasons you love it is that it's brightly lit. It's shot on location in, like, the Philippines. And now I found the Majorca Files, which was another show filmed on location in Majorca. It's like you can tell the cinematography is just bare bones. Like, not a lot of camera movement, fast turnover on it. But the scenery itself is so engaging and beautiful that it doesn't really matter if the mystery is all that great. What I'm there for are beautiful visuals, basic stories. That's all and 2 leads that kind of bicker but get along.
It's funny that you bring up camera movement, because I actually don't like too much at all.
Well, then you should watch literally Alex Rider. The camera never moves. It's just uncomfortable, slow pan.
I really like Mr. Robot, but one of the things about it that bothered me so much is they were constantly zooming. And not just like slow zooms, but
that's
fast
That's
zooming.
smash cut zooming, and that's done on purpose to make you feel uneasy.
Yeah, and then they always would put the face of whatever character in the fucking corner of the shot. Yeah. And it was so annoying, and it did work. It made me anxious.
I mean, it was supposed to do that because it goes with the lead character's...
His paranoia. Yeah.
I mean, another show, if you ever saw The Travelers on Netflix, was an Eric McCormick show. He's the dude from Perception and Will and Grace. Well, gosh, that's a huge gap in types of shows. The point being, Travelers did this thing where the cinematography of the show was incredibly... the whole point of it was to make you feel claustrophobic, meaning like all of the close-ups were extremely close on the faces of these characters. And it was designed to make, because the whole point of the time travel element of the show, them out of their element, like they are very, very much, it makes you uneasy, and that's the point of the shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Red Snow said, was everyone thankful for Space King over the holiday? I was not. Yeah. Were you, Brett?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Pat the Plumber said Ron Weasley is a tax fraud hero now.
Oh, yeah, I tweeted about that. Yeah, I said...
Wait, was he just, like, arrested or something?
No. So my tweet was, like, Assio Ron's money. British government, probably. Basically, he tried to pawn off Harry Potter residuals as capital assets rather than income. Of course, because capital assets are taxed at a much lower rate than income.
In the UK.
In the UK. So, respect for trying, brother. This was one of those things that I laughed about because people were like, he deserves it because he threw J.K. Rowling under the bus. I'm like, bro, two things can be true at the same time. Okay, he can be a dick for throwing J.K. Rowling under the bus.
Yeah.
The government can also be a piece of shit that taxes you too much. And then people were like, well, he took advantage of government services when he was poor. I'm like, I do not care.
He was poor?
I don't like, I mean, I know that J.K. Rowling was poor when she was, writing the Harry Potter books. I don't know what
He's literally been rich since he was like
a kid,
11.
Yeah. I don't know what Rupert Grint's upbringing was. I do know that no matter what, he's probably being taxed too high.
LOL. DCNC said, as a server in Canada, singing Happy Birthday was the best part of the job.
That's awesome.
I thought they had like a different song for Happy Birthday.
Probably.
In Canada. Buddy Dude said, new fan of PCC. As a big TV watcher, I love the TV talk. Started watching Chuck after Brett recommended it and enjoying it. I miss weekly episodic TV.
Yep. My hottest take, the only tweet that I could ever put out that would involve like the guy standing up saying the thing that everybody... No television episode needs to be longer than 42 minutes. None. Zero. Zip. Zilch.
Yeah.
Nada. Okay. You want to make Game of Thrones an hour long?
It better be like the hour cutoff. That's a cutoff.
Yes. 60 minutes is your max, but 42-minute television episodes required better writing, required stronger editing.
Wasn't there an episode that we had to review of The Last of Us that was like an hour and 20 minutes?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, where do they get the audacity?
The absolute audacity to think that I have the time for that. It's just, in the other thing that all of these shows that I keep going on about that are slightly new have in common, all of them 42 minutes long. So Majorca Files, Almost Paradise, the Leonardo Show from 2011, 28-minute episodes. I was in my glory over the weekend. I'm like, holy shit, I'm through episode 10 already? How is that possible? Oh, because they're all under a half an hour.
There's a pattern because it works.
It's just so much better.
If it ain't broke, why did you try to fix it?
Yeah.
Why did you do that? Shane H. Wilder said the Tobit comment was about the cringe.
The other thing, so like these shows that I keep talking about, Majorca Files, Almost Paradise, all Amazon shows, along with Reacher, which also did 42-minute episodes. I think there was a couple at the beginning and the end that were longer, but were also about that length. You know, stop making things longer than they need to be.
Red Snow said, some might go so far as to say PCC is background Riz.
That's...
Are we giving good Riz advice? Have we given
so.
some dating advice that actually helped you?
Background
Wait,
Riz.
didn't someone say... Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone said at one point that they like met someone they were dating from our chat.
That's awesome.
But I could be misremembering it.
That is as wholesome of a story as you can get.
I hope that happens if it hasn't already. Then we'll have like something to say for ourselves. If we don't have a silver play button, at least we'd have that.
Yep.
Pete Donovan said, I knew a girl in college who had a pet wolf. Okay, she was lying.
Ooh.
That's insane. Mondo said, Mary, rank the Jokers in order of attractiveness.
Jack Nicholson.
Wait, does that mean it's about
Heath
the
Ledger?
Impractical Jokers.
Okay.
I mean, everyone knows that Sal would be number one. I think that's like kind of just the popular ranking, but then Q, but when he was younger, not now. And then I'm just like blanking on their other names.
I hate that.
Wait, let me look it up just so I can actually do what you asked.
So in the chat, somebody says, "What DCNC says? Was it Brett and Olivia?" No, we did not meet in the PCC chat.
I know this is crazy, but Murr is like not bad.
Hear me out.
Hear me out. No, it's just because they're funny, and that's important to me.
Wait, so that's just not a myth?
What do you mean?
It's like a line from a TV show. It's like a girl's like, I really need a guy to be funny, and the guy's like, really? I thought you guys were all just lying about that.
I guess I would put Joe third. Yeah. So there's my definitive ranking. I might I'll regret this later on.
Yeah.
And I'll get like clowned on for it, but I don't care. Gordon Shumway said tomorrow Brett's probably going to be wearing sunglasses for Shing Mary. Retaliation is on its way.
Like
the day of reckoning is coming.
Yep. No. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make up a black eye on me tomorrow. It's like, guys,
I can't.
I have a formal apology.
This bit is going too far. Weary Traveler said we all know Mary's favorite Joker is Jared Leto. No, wait, maybe it is. He was funny. I don't know if that's the point of the character of the Joker, right? But he was like, I liked his delivery. His delivery for what they wrote. Can we be honest? For what they wrote and what they came up with, he committed to that and he did it.
It's really fun. I was just reading a David Ayer article on David Ayer. He says the movie was 100% shot as a drama, and the studio just Frankensteined it into a comedy in post. That is awful.
Yeah, it's true.
It's awful.
But for what they gave Jared Leto, you have to agree he did the best he possibly could have done. Right?
I didn't take it as comedy. I took it as like...
No, I mean, it's not supposed to be funny, but like his delivery was right. Like he did it right.
I mean, I just didn't like the idea of like mobster Joker to begin
I know, but if you're going with that, like grant that you're going with mobster Joker.
Okay, here's the thing that I thought was really funny, and this is like where my brain goes. Like if you can imagine trying to be me when you're watching a movie like this. I'm watching it and I'm like, would the Joker use a shoulder holster? I don't feel like the Joker uses a shoulder holster.
Our minds go to different
I feel
places,
like the Joker, you know, if we're talking about somebody who's kind of like the embodiment of chaos, he doesn't plan ahead and use a holster. Maybe I'm wrong. But that's where my brain goes when I'm watching this stuff.
What kind of holster?
He doesn't use a holster at all.
He just puts it in his pocket.
Just puts it in his, like that was one of my favorite parts of The Dark Knight is when they're emptying his pockets and it's just knives and lint.
Yeah.
And there's like 37 knives on the table. I'm picturing like the comedy version of The Dark Knight where they like the Joker's pockets are like bulging with knives
and spaghetti.
Yes, and they're pulling the knives out one by one. It's very sinister and saying nothing in his pocket but knives and lint. But it's funnier if they're like, oh, ow, frick, like because when the cops pat you down, they say like, do you have anything in your pot? Do you have any needles? Anything that's gonna poke me? And he's like, yes. And the cop is like this, and there's like 37 holes poked into his hand because the Joker's pockets are nothing but knives.
They need you to consult.
Yeah.
Shadow Zero said decided to give Murder in a Small Town a shot and got a binge in it. It's a good show.
Yes. Oh, so I finished it finally, the whole season. Again, you know why? Because all of the episodes were 42 minutes long.
Perfect.
8 episodes. It was good. I feel like the ending, which I will not spoil, the final scene between him and Cass was done in a way that tells me that they were not, that they were hedging their bets on a season 2. If you care about the relationship stuff in the show, which I did not care as much about, what I wanted was to see what episode 1 and 2 gave you, which was a very, very smart criminal investigator in Chief Allberg, which kind of falls by the wayside as the show goes. But the show is so calming and even keel that it's just a really smooth watch, and it's worth it again for the scenery, though maybe not bright and sunny. It's it's got that Canadian vibe. So I do recommend it. It is available on Hulu now, and if enough people watch it, look, they Hulu just re-signed their deal with Fox, so it will continue to be there if the show gets a season 2.
Shane H. Wilder said, for those who liked 50s PCC, I released 50s IRL on Saturday, and I'm currently finishing the trilogy with Phil All That Remains on American Bandstand.
Yeah. Lots
Exciting.
of stuff being done.
Sorenko Productions said, happy birthday, PCC. Thanks for all the background noise the past 3 years, and here's to 3 more years of play buttonless episodes.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
This is what we're destined for.
Yeah.
Glitches said, Mary, did you used to follow Allison Harvard, aka Creepy Chan? She was a 4chan meme that appeared on ANTM, America's Next Top Model. Thought you may have taken after her style. I never watched the show, so I found out about her existence from mainly like people comparing me to her. But
okay, so you found her after the fact.
I would like to watch the show.
Did we
Sounds
get that
fun.
20? The Manic
There's
Mustache?
I didn't know there was a 20.
Said, late as usual and apropos to fiscal responsibility, the missus cut my super chat budget, but she has a miniature mustachioed bun in the oven.
Oh.
We'll be back soon. Red Battle Panda update soon. Stay toxic, my friends.
Your baby is going to be born with a handlebar mustache. I love that for you. Actually, you were trying to explain that to us on Friday.
Congratulations.
Or no, not on Friday. What I mean is on Tuesday. And we were like, I don't really know who's pregnant or why, but congrats or sorry that happened.
Yep.
Sorry about missing your super chat. But yeah, I think I bet America's Next Top Model could be a comfort show for me. Tyra Banks was just terrorizing these young girls. Pete Donovan said, Brett, instead of a real-life Batmobile replica, what about a functional replica of either the Peter Copter or Hinden Peter from Family Guy?
I was never a huge Family Guy fan. I'll tell you what I would like. What I would like, selfishly, I would like to rebuild the sewer home of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the first movie.
That is way more expensive.
That, or the hangout for the Foot Clan in the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with the pump track that the skateboarders could use, and then the people playing cards and all of that stuff. I would like to rebuild that from scratch someday if I ever have the money, complete with like the garbage in the back room with all of the golf clubs that Casey Jones uses to beat up Tatsu at the end. I would love that.
They don't really have like theme parks or anything that relate back to
Turtles. I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
They never really did anything with that.
I'm sure it exists, and I just don't know about it.
Corey Anderson said Mocha is a trans cat.
Wouldn't doubt it.
Is that true?
Probably.
TCNC said, hey chat, I've got this ring. I bought it at JCPenney's. Yeah, someone in the chat's gonna have to find their wife. Woolraw2290 said, happy birthday, PCC. Thank you. Weird Traveler said, my hot take is that Jared's Leto actually isn't bad.
Well, the thing is I would have loved, like, a lot of people made a joke out of the idea of the Ayer cut because of all of the hoopla, the hullabaloo, the mishgas that all happened around, the Snyder cut, which we eventually got, the 4-hour-long movie on HBO Max. There actually is functionally more of a reason to get the Ayer cut, given the discrepancy, the disparity in tones between what came out in the Suicide Squad in 2016 and what he was originally creating the movie to be. If you watch the original Comic-Con trailer, I think it was in 2014 or something, gave you a very, very different idea of what the movie was going to look like, and I would actually like to see that version of the film, but that's probably never going to happen.
Red Snow said I ought to say the phrase "Praise be to Space King."
Well, thank you.
Well, it's a tradition.
Yes.
So.
Are
we all caught up?
Yes, and we if we get any more, we may end up hitting a 4th Crisis party before we go. But before we go, guys, please hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. If you have subscribed here and you've been here for as long as this show has been going on, I want to thank you all again so much. Again, this is 3 years today that this show has existed, so thank you. Mary, where can they find you?
You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived.
There's one last one there from Mondo.
Last since V-Wit isn't here.
All right.
Oh, congrats.
All right, guys, if you would like to follow me, I am on Instagram and on Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify if you would prefer to listen rather than watch. And if you go on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, you can rate and review. So please go ahead and rate and review us over there. And if you want to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook and not TikTok, because we were banned on TikTok, at Pop Culture Crisis, and on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Mary,
We have a
there's
few
couple
more
there.
here, including a $20 super chat from Good App with
The opposite of bad app.
a balloon emoji. Hi, Good App.
Thank
Whoever
you.
you are. Shane H. Wilder said, update, I finished the Phil American Bandstand. I will drop it in the morning. I'm laughing at 50s teens dancing to No Tomorrow. LOL. Phil would love that.
He would.
Weary Traveler said, I have ADHD and miss words. Don't judge me.
I do that.
No one was judging.
I do that all the time.
No one was judging.
I
This is a judgment-free zone.
And
Just
we have...
because I'm here.
We can hang out here until the fourth crisis party goes out, because last time we did this, I accidentally
Cheated them
ended
out of
the...
it. Do you want to do post-credit scene?
We could do a post-credit scene. All right, guys. We will be back with another episode tomorrow. Stay tuned for the fourth crisis party post-credit scene. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye, guys, everyone. The hell is bye, guys, everyone? Goodbye, everyone.
Oh.
Eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat.
Bye, guys.